Listen, has Anthony Edwards taken the mantle in the league right now? That's going to be the $1 million question, because a lot of people feel like the torch has been passed. It was an unbelievable series. Give him credit, give him and the Minnesota Timberwolves credit. They knocked out the Phoenix Suns, the fraudulent Phoenix Suns. We're going to get into it. We may be discussing, we may go over on this one, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of things to discuss involving Anthony Edwards, because he got a lot of things floating through the airways. And I think it's about time I get some things off my chest. You understand? The Anthony Edwards and company is headed into battle against the Denver Nuggets. The series kicks off this Saturday. It's going to be a movie. You better get your popcorn, your cameras, your lights, everything, because it's going down. You understand? Now, Anthony Edwards is the darling of the NBA. You already seen that prior to the postseason. You understand? Now, he ran into Kevin Durant. Now, I want to put Kevin Durant under the magnifying glass. We're going to get into the Chief in a second. Shout out to the Chief. Bear with me for a second, Chief. You understand? Now, Kevin Durant, you understand, I'm on record, and the people that know what's going on with Flight Sports, I told you that he is a fraud. You understand? And I'm going back to when he was with Oklahoma City by himself. You understand? When Zebo and company was smacking him around and dogging him. You understand? Don't make me get into it. You understand? The man had to run, hop, skipping with the Golden State Warriors. He couldn't get it done. The man got slapped around by Draymond. He had to leave. He went to Brooklyn. You understand? Ravaged that franchise. He had to run, and now he's in Phoenix. Now he about to get everybody fired. You understand? And this man, I was watching him specifically. You understand? He did not go toe-to-toe with Anthony Edwards. He did not take the challenge. He was no fight. And then I look at the reports. He comes out and says that he didn't like the way he was being utilized in the offense. He was in the corner too much. You understand? And to me personally, he laid down and quit. You understand? And allowed Anthony Edwards and these guys to run roughshod and sweep them. You understand? I mean, these guys didn't even put up a fight. You understand? A fight. And that's what saddens me. And like I said, much credit to Anthony Edwards, but I think in this next series, listen, Anthony Edwards is an unbelievable player, but when he goes up against the defending champions, I think that's the coronation. You don't get coronated by a fraudulent, top-heavy Phoenix Suns team where Bradley Beal looking lost. You understand? These guys stat pad and Kevin Durant quit and trying to get the coach fired. You understand? That's not a coronation. You understand? A great dunk, by the way. Shout out to Anthony Edwards and the Ant-Man. You understand? But the Nuggets, you go up against those guys, that juggernaut of a team, that offense, that deep. Now it's time to coronate you. Listen, I ain't even done yet. I'm allowed a Chief to get cooking. Chief, what's your thoughts on the situation involving Anthony Edwards? He's headed into battle with the Nuggets. You understand? Is this a past torching moment, in your opinion, with the series with Phoenix? Everybody is sipping the Ant Kool-Aid right now. You understand? Is it going too far?
Not necessarily. Like, the torch is there to be taken because LeBron in April is in Cancun. KD is in Cancun. Steph is in Cancun. As I said, this was going to happen. The established stars, and Kawhi Leonard is not really playing right now. The established stars are being pushed out. We're witnessing a changing of the guard. We're witnessing the torch being passed. The only question left, Flight, is who will grab it? That's the only thing left. Now, playoffs, I love this time of year, Flight, because this is the time of year when legends are made. This is where the legends are made. This is where the GOATs are made. Here in the playoffs. So the test will be for Anthony Edwards. I don't want no drop off energy. I want him to keep that same energy in Denver. He was doing a lot of laughing and joking with Phoenix. A lot of keying, a lot of, gyrating. He was doing all that stuff for Phoenix. I want to see that same energy against Denver. I want to see that same energy against Denver. I want to see that energy. I want on defense, I want Anthony Edwards to take on the task of guarding Jamal Murray on defense. I want to see that. I want to see what the heart is now. You got the heart, Anthony Edwards. You say you want to be a two-way star. Jamal Murray is an issue. I want to see if you address it. Also, Flight, if Minnesota has any chance of getting past Denver, I want to see what they did with Karl Anthony Towns. Cat has to be involved in that series. He must be to somewhat balance out what Joker's doing. If Cat is just standing around shooting threes, that's not going to cut the mustard. Now, on defense, they got Gobert. He's probably going to be the one that be on Joker, mostly on defense. He'll sacrifice that. But if Cat is locked in the way he should, then that'll be a problem on the other side. If he does it. But if he's standing around shooting threes, oh, Anthony Edwards is the face of the league. Oh, no, I want to hear that, Flight. Not for someone as skilled as Cat. Stop it.
Right. I think a lot of people get that caught up. And we all know the draft class was epic. Shout out, like I said, Edwards, he was the #1 overall pick. Even though it was reports that if it was another franchise, be the New York Knicks, if they lucked up and got the pick, even though Edwards was on the board, they was going LaMelo Ball. So, I mean, also, I want to get into Tyrese Halliburton. He's another highlight of that draft class. But I want to just highlight, because we get caught up in the face and all of that. And I just think that it was an amazing draft class. These are amazing players. When you talk about Tyrese, when you talk about Ant, these guys are in the playoffs. Amazing. I just don't want people to forget about the man who actually won the Rookie of the Year out of that draft class. You understand? Because the man the man who's out of the postseason, he's not the NBA's darling. You understand? The man had to fight and claw for that Rookie of the Year trophy to get go. You understand? This season alone, he was not in the NBA's cards. No nationally televised games. Even though this man, you look at his Instagram following, social media following, he's bringing a whole lot to the NBA. I mean, with all due respect. You understand? I'm just saying, this man is a box office attraction, a superstar extraordinaire, internationally and domestic, ladies and gentlemen, because we get caught up in the face and the star, and he's such a charismatic figure. Let's not forget about who's the most charismatic out of the bunch. You understand? And I say all of that to say, the man who actually won Rookie of the Year out of this draft class, even though these two guys are in the postseason, congratulations to them both. The man does not even have a basketball team. If you look at these rosters that these guys are playing with, LaMelo Ball is at a complete disadvantage. You understand? As I'm watching these games, all I could think about is LaMelo and what's happened to the Hornets. And he needs to get the heck out of the Charlotte Hornets because of, I mean, seriously, look at your counterparts. You understand? LaMelo should be right in the mix of all of this. And the Charlotte Hornets have completely failed him. You understand? LaMelo, none of these guys make the team better than LaMelo. I was just looking at some reports because we're talking about the face and all of this and that. You understand? I see the posts about sneakers. Let's not even get into the sneaker department. You understand? Because shout out Anthony Edwards. He got the AE1s with Adidas. Let's not get it twisted with LaMelo Ball. He done revolutionized Puma. I want everybody to look at the resale market. LaMelo Ball is running. Lord have mercy, what's happening with LaMelo? They about to release a lifestyle shoe. They are on the next layer. You understand? Of establishing LaMelo Ball as a sneaker selling shoe machine. You understand? I just want everybody to understand what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And I say all of that to say, I think that this race is not definitively, being called correctly, because the man who actually won Rookie of the Year, and mind you, LaMelo beat both of these guys this season with them both on the floor. Do your homework. You understand? He needs a roster. You understand? He needs some weaponry to go along or to combat what's happening. Talk to us, Chief? We're going overtime on this one.
It's all right, baby. I completely agree. The old regime completely failed LaMelo Ball under Michael Jordan and Mitch Kupchak. I agree with that. I agree. This year, they turned over ownership and leadership, you know, to the tune of $3 billion to Rick Small and Gabe Plotkin. So now they're in the process of finally doing what they should have done in their rookie season. All the old players, Tay Bay and the rest of them are gone. So now you got Devontae Graham, and so you got now other players brought in, right? And now LaMelo has been given the keys. Now it's time for them to build around them. Brandon Miller is an excellent start. A healthy Mark Williams is an excellent start. You know, we'll see what happens with Miles in the offseason. You know, we'll see what happens. They will have they have the potential to have a #1 pick, a top 3. If they fall out the top 3, no lower than the number 7 pick in this year's draft. You know, people are not as excited about this draft, but they have another top pick. They have to pick correctly, and they have to go and now bring players around in this free agent market. They have to go and reach to see if they can bring other players around to build the team up so that with LaMelo's skills, you know, and along with Brandon Miller as his running mate, now they can now make noise because LaMelo has to be able to cook in the regular season, but LaMelo has to cook in the playoffs. So next year, the play-in is important for Charlotte. They must cook in that play-in. You see what I'm saying? Even though it's not a big series, it's not as big as the playoffs, but still it's a cup. It's something. They need to win something. You see what I'm saying? And then they can or go and with LaMelo being healthy, you know, and everything, a seasoned Brandon Miller, a top pick, you know, and then hopefully a great free agent. They brought in some good vets already. So they have to do this if they intend on keeping LaMelo, Flight, you know, and I think the intent is to keep him. They're going to now with this ownership, they're going to do what is necessary to keep LaMelo in Charlotte. You know, and the NBA needs that marketplace to be popping anyway, or else they would have moved it. They need Charlotte to be popping, and there's no better person to get it popping than LaMelo Ball.
Yep, absolutely. And I love how you said all of that because you are discussing to the audience the pathway for LaMelo to get to where they need to get to. And I want to say this is not an indictment or a hit job against Edwards. It's not a hit job against Halliburton. These two are amazing young players, but it's just, I just feel like LaMelo is getting lost in the shuffle here. It just is what it is. You know, don't you agree?
I agree. Oh, but he's going to address all that next year. LaMelo sees all of it. When Ant tossed his shoe away, LaMelo responded. You know, he's out there conversing when Ant low-key tossed those MBs away. He said, wait a minute, what you doing? He's like, whoa, okay. That's why even this year, Flight, Clifford on his way out the door, he said LaMelo talks about when he took Halliburton's cookies in the middle of the court. That is LaMelo's highlight. He talks about that play. LaMelo is competitive. A lot of people may see it because on the surface it may look like, you know, because he operates from the position of abundance. People mistake that for aloofness or not being serious, you know. But LaMelo Ball is very competitive. He took Tyrese's cookies. LaMelo has been talking about that play ever since. So he knows. He sees it. He's going to deal. He got a list. He's going to deal. He's going to look to cook next year. Yep. He is.
I totally agree with you, Chief. But listen, I say all of this, and I want to say that if Edwards, you know, gets, and I'm trying to say is people think he is being coronated because he defeated Kevin Durant, his favorite player. No. You got the defending NBA. You just seen Jamal. They done put a hurting on these Lakers. You understand? They done dealt with, you know, LeBron. You understand? Now here comes Edwards and Cat. You know, Jokic, for like I said, he probably the best big man in this series. You understand? You got Jamal. Hey, these guys gonna have their hands full. You know,
their hands are gonna be full.
I think vice versa. Both teams are gonna have their hands full. You know, so it's gonna be very key. You know, to success. You know, but I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Edwards, shout out to Anthony Edwards. You know, amazing young player. You know, great dunk. You know, sweep the Phoenix Suns. But like I said, the Phoenix Suns, man, they got to roll their sleeves up. Frank Vogel and these guys, they a joke in my opinion. You know, they just laid down. You know what? I want to give respect to LeBron and company. At least they ain't lay down. LeBron went out with a fight. You seen AD out there with a messed up shoulder, still trying to do what he could. You know, look at Embiid out there on one leg, giving him 50. You understand? You got these dudes running around, laying down, trying to get coaches. Don't ever get me started. You understand? Don't ever get me started. It's just an appetizer. It's Flight Sports TV. We're going to be back with it. Make sure you hit the like button and most definitely hit the subscribe button. You already know what it is.